Very good morning, student. Myself, Anjum Abbasi. I'm working as assistant professor in Galgotias University. So today's class, I'm going to take on the topic of immunity, which is from first unit of your fundamental of nursing. So hope you will understand and you will pay your attention during the lecture. So all the best of all of you. So what are the topics we are going to cover in this immunity? First one, we will be learning introduction. Second, types of immunity. So there are different kinds of immunity is there. It is natural or innate immunity. Then types of innate immunity are further there. Then types of acquired immunity, so that we will be learn side by side. So student, firstly, we will be learning introduction. So what do you mean by immunity? What is immunity? What you can say about immunity is, so immunity is the ability of your body to protect against all type of pathogens or antigens. It will be like bacteria, virus, and toxic, which can enter in your body, multiply and affect your body. It can harm your body and it is responsible for developing infection and any disease. So generally it protects us from disease. It is also called disease resistance. Means if someone is having good immunity, he has developed good immunity in his body, so he is capable to fight against infections. Next is lack of immunity is known as susceptibility. So if someone is having weak immunity or lower immunity, what does it mean? He is susceptible to caught infection. So he is the one who is prone to catch any infection. Immunity is done by immune system, which is a complex network of lymphoid organs such as bone marrow, thymus and spleen, etc. So lymphoid organs are responsible, are the initial factor we can say, which are responsible for providing us good immunity. So first type of immunity is innate immunity. We can say it is a natural or native immunity, which is a having of mechanism that exists before infection and capable to rapid response against the microbes. So there are defense barriers. There are four types. First one is anatomical barrier, second is phagocytic barrier, third one is blood proteins, and fourth one is cytokines. Now we will be learning types of innate immunity as we have learned in last slide. First type of innate immunity. Now it is further are having three more types. So first one is species immunity. Species immunity in the sense it is the total immunity which is shown by the member of species against pathogen. For example, bird. So bird immune to tetanus. So particular species are already like naturally immunized against particular type of infection. So we can say that particular disease will not affect that particular species. Second type of innate immunity is racial immunity. So it is that state in which various races showed marked difference in their resistance to certain infectious disease. Like we can say, according to races, we can see the different how particular race people are affected by a particular disease. So it depends on immunity. Third type is individual immunity. It is a very specific for each and every individual despite having same racial background and opportunity. What does means to understand here between the racial and individual immunity, like particular races people are prone to develop particular disease, that is the thing, and individual immunity there is a individual difference. So each and every individual is having their own immunity, so they can caught by particular infection, that is depend upon their immunity, how strong it is. Student, we have learned innate immunity and its three subtypes. Second type of immunity is acquired immunity. We can say acquired or adaptive immunity because something which we are gaining, which we are receiving after birth intentionally. So this, we can say this is acquired immunity. It is the immunity that is developed by the host in its body after exposure to suitable antigen or after transfer of antibodies or lymphocyte from an immune donor. Next, what are the characteristics of acquired immunity? This is antigenic specificity, diversity, immunologic memory, and self non-self recognition. So what is the mean of all these four topics here? Like uh, for a particular like you have developed any kind of infection in your body, for that you will be seeking any vaccine, so that vaccine will be particular to that particular disease. There is a criteria. It may be like a combined vaccine, like pentavalent. So if combined vaccine is there, so there it will be affected against, we can say it is not a specific, it will be effective for at least 3 4 disease like this. So this depends, immunity depends on your own immunity also, and which kind of vaccine you are taking, and what is your natural immunity. That is also a major factor for learning this. So here we will be discussing types of acquired immunity. It is also of two types, active immunity and passive immunity. What does active immunity means? We can say it is induced by natural exposure to a pathogen or by vaccination. It can be categorized into two types, naturally acquired and artificially acquired active immunity. So there is a need to learn to go through with these terms. Student used to be confused. What is the difference between, ultimately this is active immunity, but you need to learn what is natural acquired and what is artificially acquired active immunity. Okay. Next is passive immunity. So passive immunity is achieved by transfer of immune products such as antibody or sensitized T cells from an immune individual to non-immune one. It is of two types, naturally acquired or artificially acquired passive immunity. Student, we have learned two types of immunity and their subtype. Now, there is a need to learn what is the mechanism, what's happening inside our body, which is making body capable to fight against particular pathogen. So we can say this is our immune system which provide particular protection by synthesizing antibodies and immunoglobulins in response to an antigen. First one is the primary immune response. It takes place when the host is attacked by certain microbes for first time. So keep in your considerations when your first time meeting with particular infection and your body is recognizing that infection, then what will happen, the body will identify, blood cells will be identified that, and there will be initiation of a process that is known as antigen antibody reaction, and it will be very specific towards particular pathogen. Okay. Second is secondary immune response. Secondary immune response in the sense, you, you have been attacked by a particular pathogen previously. Now again that pathogen entered in your body, so your cells will be identify that very fast. It will, that response will be very fast. So antigen antibody reaction will start here also, but it will be quick response. It will be faster as compared to the primary immune response, because primary immune response took time to recognize the pathogen and to develop the process. Next is acquired acute immune response, takes two distinct forms we can say. So that is humoral and cell mediated response. Student, you can see there are two pics. You can see right and left side. One is for humoral immunity and other is for cell mediated immunity. So you can just see how each immunity is working differently, but ultimately their purpose is the same. Purpose is to fight against infection, but the process will differ. So thank you so much, student, for your attentive listening. I tried my best to explain this topic in a very simple language and with the diagram. Hope this lecture will be helpful to you and it will be fruitful if you have gone through, if you could understand me. What I will say that this is the part of reference for further exploration. You can go through with these link and you can approach me, and my number is 9310828498. Thank you so much all. Happy learning.